have listened my last video which I have sent you of new words and their meaning. So now we will be starting with the explanation of this lesson. So let's start. Once upon a time there lived a poor woman who had a son named Jack. So students, once upon a time there lived a very poor woman. You can see that woman in this picture also. Okay. So who had a son named Jack. He is Jack. This boy is Jack. Okay. So I will tell you, this boy is Jack. Okay. So they were very poor. Means they do not have money to eat, to wear new clothes. We can say they were very poor. They don't have money. They cannot live their life happily. They were not rich. Okay. So that poor woman had a son named Jack. Okay. So both of them, they lived together. She was ill and Jack was too young to work. So Jack's mother, this lady, she was not well. She was ill and Jack was also too young to work. Jack was not also enough mature to go out and earn some money. So that is why this is the reason they were very poor, because nobody can go out to earn money. Almost all their belongings had been sold to buy food. So they have no money and there was no one in their family to earn. So that is why they started selling their things, whatever belongings they have in their home, maybe some furniture or whatever they have, they start selling them one by one. Okay. So almost all their belongings had been sold to buy food. So slowly what happened? They have sold all their belongings to buy food. Because you all know that we need money to buy food from the market. We all need money now, and from where that money comes? Like you have seen that your parents also, your father must be earning and he must be working very hard to earn money. So, but in this case, in this story, nobody is going out to earn money, and that is the reason they have started selling their things, whatever belongings they had sold those things to buy some food. There was nothing left worth selling, and one day came that they had nothing in their home to sell in the market or wherever they go. They have nothing left worth selling. Okay. Now what is left with them? They had an old cow named Daisy whom they were very fond of. Okay. Only that cow was left whose name was Daisy, and they loved that cow very much. Okay. They both loved that cow very much. One day Jack's mother said, Jack, go to the market and sell our cow. So one day what happened, when they have nothing left to sell, so Jack's mother thought, what to do now? We don't have anything to eat. We don't have money to buy some food. Now only this cow is left. So she said to the Jack that please go to the market and sell our cow, or we shall have nothing to eat. Okay. So she tell the Jack to sold that cow in the market so that he can get some money, and with that money they will have some food to eat. Otherwise they will be hungry that day. Thus the next day with a heavy heart. With a heavy heart is a phrase that means unhappily, very sadly. So the next day what happened? Jack left for the market to sell their beloved Daisy. So the next day with a very heavy heart, unhappily, Jack left for the market. Jack went to the market to sell their beloved. What do you mean by beloved? Beloved means very dearly loved. If something is very close to you, right? Whether it is a thing, whether it is a member of the family, anything. So if something is very dear to you, very close to you, you can say that it is your beloved, right? So Daisy was very much dearly loved by both of them, but what they can do, they don't have any options, right? They want to buy some food that day. They were hungry. That is why they decided to sell that cow. Instead of that, they love that cow very much. It is like a member of their family, but then also they don't have any option. So they decided to sell that cow. So with a heavy heart, Jack left the market to sell their beloved cow, Daisy. For some time he went along very sadly, but on seeing the hustle bustle at the market, he soon recovered his spirits. But for some time he was very sad. Who was very sad? Jack was very sad, but when he saw the hustle bustle means a large amount of noise, right? But when he saw the scene of the market, the very noisy place and the activity going around there, he started feeling happy. Then he recovered his spirits, means he started he was happy again. You can say that he was not sad that time when he saw the scene of the market, when he saw the large amount of noise or the activity. So he engrossed in the activity of the market. Okay, children, the explanation of next page. He stood in a corner and started calling out, "Who will buy my cow?" So who stood in the corner? Jack stood in the corner of the market and he started calling people that who will buy my cow. Okay, so a few farmers looked at Daisy and said, you can see in this picture also, few farmers, they came near to the Jack and they saw that the cow and they said that cow is too thin and old. They don't like the cow because the cow was too thin, okay, and she was old also. So Jack was disappointed as no one came forward to buy his cow. So Jack became very sad because he wanted to sold his cow so that he can have some money to buy the food. So he became very sad that nobody is coming forward to buy his cow. Now what will happen? How will he go home? Okay. However, he met a farmer at last who looked over the cow. So finally he met a farmer over there and he looked over his cow. Looked over means, it is a phrase, looked carefully, right? So he looked carefully the cow and was eager to buy it, and then decided that he want to buy that cow. He was very excited to buy it. Jack asked him, how much will you buy it for? So Jack asked him that how much he is going to pay for his beloved cow. Okay, how much money he is going to pay. The farmer said, I do not have any money, but I have a handful of magic beans. So the farmer replied that he does not have any money, but he can give a handful of magic beans. Okay, beans which can show some magic. Because he does not have any money, he can only give that handful of magic beans to Jack in exchange of that cow. Would you like to exchange your cow for them? So farmer asked the Jack that would you like to exchange? Would you like to agree with this deal that I will give you a handful of magic beans and you will give me that cow? So would you like to exchange your cow for them? Okay, he asked the Jack. At first, Jack thought that the farmer was joking, but the farmer had a kind expression. So at first, he thought that that farmer might be joking, that he is not giving me money, he is giving me handful of magic beans, and beans also can show magic. That is not real. So he thought that he must be joking. But when he saw that farmer is serious, farmer is showing kind expression, he looked with tenderness, he is not joking. Okay, he said, these are not ordinary beans. They are the most wonderful beans that were ever known. So the farmer said to the Jack that I am serious about this deal, and these beans which I have, which I want to give you in exchange of your cow, that these beans are not ordinary beans, right? These are wonderful beans, these are magic beans, and you have never seen these type of beans in your life. If you plant them tonight, they will grow up by tomorrow morning and reach the sky. So what is the magic? That if you sow that beans in the soil, they will grow up by tomorrow, and that particular day only they will reach the sky. So usually it does not happen. You sow a bean and you wait for a week, then the plants come out, and it takes a lot of time. But this magic bean, if you sow it tonight, it will grow up by tomorrow morning and it will reach the sky also that day, right? So this is the magic of those beans. For some reason, Jack could not refuse the farmer. So Jack became curious that is it so? These beans are going to reach the sky very next day. So Jack could not refuse the proposal of the farmer, and thus he sold the cow for a handful of beans. Thus he agreed to sold his cow. Jack agreed to sold his cow for that handful of beans. Then what happened? He came back to his home. Alas, when he got home, his mother was furious. What do you mean by furious? Furious means very angry. So when he got home, his mother was furious and she screamed, "You silly boy, what shall we eat tonight?" So when he showed this handful of beans to his mother, that I have exchanged my cow and with that handful of beans from a farmer, the mother became very angry and she shouted on him that, "You silly boy, what shall we eat tonight? If you have not got any money in exchange of that cow, so what shall we eat tonight? What are we going to have in dinner?" Okay, so angrily she threw the beans out of the house. So as she was very angry, she threw that beans out of the house. Since there was no food to eat that night, and both mother and the son slept hungry. So as they don't have any money to buy the food, because the Jack sold that cow in exchange of that handful of beans. So both of them, they do not have any food to eat that night, and both the mother and the son, they slept hungry. Now turn to page number 45. So as I have told you that both the mother and the son, they slept hungry because they don't have anything to eat that day. Okay, so now next day what happened? Just have a look. Jack woke up the next morning to find his room dark. So Jack woke up the next morning, and what he found that his room is very dark. He jumped out of bed and ran to the window to see what the matter was. So he jumped out of the bed to see that why his room is very dark. So he ran to the window to see what is the matter, why the light is not coming from that window. Okay, as it is the morning time. Okay, he observed that although the sun was shining brightly outside, but beside his bedroom window there was a giant beanstalk which seemed to be reached the sky. So giant means huge. Okay, so what happened when he jumped out of the bed and he ran to see the window? Okay, what is the matter, why my room is dark, and it is the morning time, then also no light is coming from the window. So what he observed that although the sun is shining outside like any other day, but beside his bedroom, what happened? There is a giant beanstalk. There is a very huge beanstalk, the stem of the bean, which seemed to reach the sky, which is touching the sky. Okay, so that is why the light was not coming from the window. Sunlight was not coming from the window. He called out, "Mother, look at this giant beanstalk." So he was very amused. He just called out his mother and he show her that giant beanstalk, that huge beanstalk. His mother came to the window and said, "Of what use will this be to us? Chop it off. We can use it as firewood." So his mother, she saw that giant beanstalk and she said to the Jack that of what use it is. It is of no use. It is not giving us any vegetable or any fruit. So you just chop it off. We can use it as firewood when we will cook our food. But Jack did not listen to his mother's word and thought that I will just see where it leads to. But when his mother ordered him to cut that beanstalk, but then also Jack did not listen to his mother's word. He thought that I want to see where it leads to. Okay, how long it is, where it is going. He was very curious. He became very curious and he wanted to know. Okay, that is why what he did, I'll just see where it leads to. With that thought, he stepped out of the window and onto the beanstalk and began to climb upwards. So what he did, he just stepped out of his room and he started climbing on that beanstalk, that where it leads to, where it is going actually. It is very long. He climbed higher and higher till their cottage looked a mere speck below. So he started climbing that beanstalk and he climbed higher and higher till their cottage looked a mere speck below. He was so he was climbing that beanstalk, and he came to that position when he looked below and he saw that his cottage looked like a very small piece of thing. Okay, it is like it looks like a small piece. When you are very high, so when you see the things below, what you see that the things are looking very small, right? So he climbed higher and higher, and when he saw his cottage, from that point the cottage looks like a small piece or a small mark over there. Okay, so this is the first part of this story, and the second part we are going to learn in lesson number 6. We will know about the second part of this story in lesson number 6, which is Jack discovers a new world. In that story you will came to know about the next part, what happened and where the Jack reached. Okay, where when he climbed that beanstalk, where he reached. Okay, so that story will be in the next part of this lesson, which is lesson number 6, Jack discovers a new world. So I hope you have understood this story, and now we will be doing the exercises of this lesson. Thank you. Have a nice day.